Samantha Maldonado has been following the primary election. She's a reporter for the city. Hi, Samantha. Welcome. So absentee ballots haven't been counted. So all of the preliminary results we've seen from the Board of Elections is incomplete. Why did the board decide to do it this way? And what are you hearing from voting experts about that decision?
Sure. You're right. There's a lot of absentee ballots that haven't been counted yet. But the Board of Elections in New York isn't the only place that decides to put out results without including all of the absentee ballots. Multiple places release their results in different ways. However, they were warned, the Board of Elections, that they should not be releasing results before that all of the ballots that are there are ready to go. This is a difference of opinion, I think. Not all people before ranked choice voting were rolled out were on that same page. Different council members and experts have said different things. In San Francisco, for example, they put out different rankings every day, basically, from the time that election day is over until they have all of the ballots in. So it's just a difference of what they're doing, but we're not quite sure why the Board of Elections did it the way they are doing. There's been a lot of different methods.
So we should also make it clear that this error has nothing to do with inherent flaws in ranked choice voting, correct, and everything to do with the error committed by the Board of Elections. Because, you know, for a lot of New Yorkers, this is a new method and they question how accurate it is, how well it works. But we should say that this has nothing to do with that form of voting. So, Samantha, take us through the history of some of the other problems the BOE has had. How did it get to be this way, and what do calls for reform look like?
Sure. So the Board of Election has been criticized over and over throughout the years, and the calls grow louder during election seasons, and then they sort of fade away. They've sort of, the Board of Elections has managed to escape a lot of the accountability measures or calls for reform. So the board essentially is made up of political appointees and not experts on election administration. And that's a problem, obviously. They don't necessarily know how to best do this. Of course, there are staffers who are working extremely hard. But over the years, there's been a lot of other snafus. For example, purging thousands of eligible registered voters off of the voting rolls by mistake, or even in the last election citywide, putting wrong information on absentee ballots that they sent out to people in the city. So there's been all sorts of mess ups over the years, from administrative to a little bit wider and maybe more consequential. But it has the effect of diminishing confidence in the Board of Elections and how the elections are administered. And I think now because of this such a big snafu on such a large scale, again, the first time that New York City, and a city of this populace, rolls out ranked choice voting, all eyes are on New York, all eyes are on the Board of Elections. And so perhaps now the calls for reform might be heated. There's a couple bills right now in the state legislature which controls the Board of Elections. So even though it's a city board, it's controlled by the state. And those bills would professionalize the Board of Elections and make some changes that the sponsors think could really make a difference here.
So let's talk about the state of the race itself. We did mention that Adams and Garcia are neck and neck. Maya Wiley was eliminated in the second to last round with just 347 votes behind Garcia. So I guess it will all come down to the absentee ballots. What do we know about these absentee ballots? Who has the advantage on those right now?
Well, it's very hard to say. We do know that about a third of them have come from Manhattan, and Manhattan has gone pretty strong for Garcia. So it seems like she's got, pretty good advantage. It's really hard to speculate on what's going to come now. But we do know from the ranked choice voting roll-up that came out, and again, this doesn't have to do with absentee ballots. It is only in-person voting. But people who ranked Wiley and Andrew Yang were more likely to rank Garcia second than Eric Adams. And so she's got a pretty good chance there.
All right. Well, Samantha Maldonado, we will have to wait and see. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.